It all happened when I was 12 years old. I'm now a grown man, but I will never forget that night. I still have nightmares about that night, and I never go out at night near the woods. Even during the day, I would have trouble walking through them. It was a normal afternoon during summer. I had finished playing outside with some friends and went inside for dinner, but before I went, I took a quick shower. When I was in my bedroom preparing myself, I heard some growling noises coming from outside. At first, I thought it was a dog, but it felt too close. I walked closer to the window. I wanted to see what animal was doing these growling noises. I couldn't see anything, but the growling was still there. I looked everywhere, but nothing. Later in the evening, after having dinner, I went to my room to play some more before sleeping. Since it was summer break, I could stay up longer. While playing, I started listening to stomp noises on the roof. My room is on the second floor, so I was directly under. I stayed there for a while, just listening to the stomping. It sounded like someone was walking on the roof. A few more seconds passed and the stomping stopped, but that was when a chilling sound came from behind me. Outside the window, a sound of scratching on the glass could be heard. I looked back and I saw it. A figure of something that looked like a dog and a man at the same time was outside my window, drooling and growling at the same time. I screamed. My parents came to my room, but the creature was already gone. I told my parents what happened, but they didn't seem to believe me. No one ever did. I love running in the night. No one is in the streets. I can run and appreciate the silence around me. Sometimes I run through town, other times I run in the woods. Close to my place, there are a few trails that go through the woods. It might be creepy for some, but I always enjoyed it very much. So this night, as I'm running on these trails, I started listening to running footsteps behind me. Because I wasn't listening to music while running, I stopped to check behind me to see if someone was there. I looked around, but I saw nothing. Dead silence. I continued running. After a few seconds, same thing happened. Footsteps again. I stopped and asked out loud if someone was there. In my head, I thought it could be an animal or something like that. I waited a few more seconds until I listened to another noise. A growling, like a dog or wolf. It was the first time I'd felt afraid on my night runs. The growling was getting closer. A few seconds later, in front of me, coming from behind me, in some bushes. A creature, no, a man or a dog, started running towards me. Frozen in terror, I looked at it for just a second, right before I started running as fast as I could. I think I've never ran so fast as that day. Luckily, I managed to get to the main road before it got me, but I didn't stop there. I kept running until I was home. When I arrived home, I couldn't believe in what I just saw. I tried to sleep as best as I could, and the next day, I did some research on local wildlife, but I couldn't find anything. Not until I'd looked for cryptid encounters. It looks like where I live, there are others that have seen the same creature I saw that day, the Dog Man. I never again ran at night. I was riding my e-bike through a road a few miles from my house. The road was surrounded by forest on both sides. Everything seemed fine until I heard a sound coming from the tree line. Even though I had no idea what it was, my worst fear had always been possibly getting attacked by a wild animal. So I sped up the e-bike to make sure I wasn't in any danger. But I was horrified to see that whatever made the sound was actually running behind the tree line alongside the road. What I thought was an animal at first would actually alternate from running on all fours to running on two legs. I started to freak out because it looked like a bear or a wolf was running like a human as well. I'm thinking it's just some weirdo in a costume, but what really concerned me was even though I was going almost 20 miles an hour on the e-bike, whatever this thing was keeping up with me. I was just hoping I could make it to the gas station a few miles away to get some help. However, I was worried I'd run out of juice on the e-bike before I got there. By now, I was going full speed and this damn thing was still chasing me. The whole time I could hear something sprinting and grunting through the forest. Also, I could see it in my peripheral vision. And just a few seconds after that, that's when I finally hear it emerge from the tree line and chase me from behind on the road. It was too dark to probably see anything. I just leaned down on my e-bike and basically prayed. Thankfully, the lights of the gas station soon emerged from the distance. It wasn't until I rode into the parking lot that I finally looked behind me. But when I did, I saw nothing. None of the other customers looked like they saw anything either. I called my mom soon after to pick me up. I haven't ridden my e-bike around the area since then. I have made attempts with friends to look for whatever it was though, but we haven't had any luck finding it.